My brothers and sisters, as we are celebrating today the feast of the Transfiguration of the Lord, we hear the very words that we began our celebration today. Lord, it is good to be here. A voice telling us to listen to him. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. While they really wanted to stay there for good, they had a job to do before that. The Lord wanted them to go back into the world from where they came and preach his good news to them. And so the missionaries of St. Francis de Sales, to which I belong to, are just some of them that came and have been coming over the years. They came 156 years ago to India. Message always the same, no matter what missionary or where they come from. That God has loved us and he has given his own Son, Jesus Christ, to suffer, to die, and rise again. And we are to listen to him if one day we want to be with him forever in heaven and shared in that beautiful transfiguration that they saw. For once, they saw Jesus as he really is. And since this is the Mission Sunday today, I'm not going to go through all that because year after year you hear the same story from different missionaries doing different things. I just want to pick up 3 or 4 things that seem to be a little more important, a little more urgent. We do the very work, you see, that the Holy Father wants us to do. Because we have been sent directly by him to a place where no gospel has been preached before. It's our responsibility to establish the diocese, hand it over to the diocesan clergy, and move over. So they already established about 30 dioceses in India alone. Right now we have 6 dioceses for development under the care of the missionaries of St. Francis de Sales, and I belong to one of those dioceses. Our fathers are working also to France, Switzerland, Germany, England, South America, Africa, Philippines, Australia. The Holy Father is the most knowledgeable person in the world. Not only in the civic matters, because all the heads of the state go to see him and you get to know them and know what is happening in our world, but especially the church. Every Catholic bishop in the world, and there are thousands of them, has to give a state of a diocese every 4 years. It's an accountability to see what's happening in diocese, what is being done, what is still to be done, the problems and all that. And so the Holy Father, therefore, himself makes the choice. One of the things that we do, because of this problem so vast, educate the young people. Not simply because they're young, but one day they are going to grow up. And they are going to be the future Catholic Church in India. So we gather them all, young boys and young girls, in the boardings for education. Now all education in India is free. From the kindergarten to universities, it doesn't cost us a penny. All the food that we need for them, we get from the Catholic relief services. All that we do for them is buy a few pieces of clothing, buy the textbooks, and that's it. It takes about $10 to $15 each kid for 1 year. But you're talking about thousands of these kids, given Catholic education, and some have gotten to stand on their own 2 feet over the years. The other important work we are doing is taking care of those. I was working with Mother Teresa when she's still here, and with the sisters, Mother Teresa, working about, we had leprosarium. We just got about 50 beds, but there were over 500 of them that we had to go and see them. They're under the bridges or hiding in the bushes. Nobody wants them around, mostly because of the nature of the disease. But on a given day, there they are. I honestly tell you that if it wasn't for our faith, I don't think we'd have even bothered to look at them, never mind still working for these lepers, because they are very sight, can you turn away? And we had to wash their wounds, put some medicine, bandage them. Sometimes we feed the leper, we don't even have hands left, give them some clothes to take, and we'll see them next week the same way. My reason for you to tell this story, because you know that what Jesus did during the time of his, he cured them all. So sorry you felt for them. We try to do what we can. We cannot. The problem is so vast. We're talking about thousands of the leper in the hiding. The government thinks by denying that the lepers in India, the lepers will disappear. It doesn't. You and I know that. Another important work we are doing about the babies that are given to us, about 400 to 500 every year by desperate mothers who want to see the babies live. We have been very, very fortunate to have Sisters of the Holy Cross. Even to this day, there are over 60 nuns in that convent. And one of the works they do, they take care of these little ones. From the 4th grade onwards, we take over the boys, and girls stay with the sisters. And one of the best things that happens with them, after their graduation from the high school or colleges, they all go back to their own families as grown-up Catholics. That has helped us for evangelization, because they can see the difference with their own faith and the faith that their parents practice, and many of them come to inquire into the Catholic faith and are baptized into the Catholic Church. We are even getting vocations to the priesthood and religious life from these so-called orphans. Another thing that we started was an institute for the special children, young boys and girls, whom really the moms and dads can do nothing, mostly because of their poverty. Again, we can take about 50 of them, but here's another miracle. Everything that they need, all the medical supplies, the volunteers, done by the people, volunteers. Nurses, doctors, there are very, very few of them that are really paid. They see the need, they do it, and they are not even of our faith. There's something human there. When you see somebody with that kind of need, you don't walk away. You do what you can. God has blessed us with vocations. Missionaries of St. Francis Sales every year ordain about 50 priests. We don't own them, and they don't belong to us. They are sent wherever they are needed, wherever they are wanted. And so the work goes on, My reason for you to tell this story, because sometimes we see around us what has happened to our church here in the United States. When you see 2 out of 3 do not practice their faith today. Most of them is to come at least for Christmas and Easter season. Even that is less than 50% today. And yet, that's the church that we have. These are the people we have to bring back into the faith and to the sacraments. And so when you really look especially at the mission world, you see all those cathedrals and the churches and the chapels and the convents and the rectories, maternity homes, hunger centers, hospitals, hundreds and thousands of them. And just imagine, especially in India, millions of people brought to Christ over the years, millions of them. You are the ones who make it happen. The missionaries simply happen to be poor little instruments in the hands of our blessed Lord. They could not have done it, and once again they can do it. You are the ones always make it happen, whether in the mission world or here at home. Thank you, therefore, for all that you have done and doing for the Church of God. Continue, therefore, the good work the Lord has begun in you. The second collection today will be for our missions in India. If you're not prepared for this today, there's always the next week. Or you can always put something in the envelope, address it to the rectory. They'll send it for our missions. And once again, I'd like to thank you for giving me this chance to tell you something about our missions in India.